But apropos of the banksters, and this is the big story. Matt Taibbi is back with us. He writes for Rolling Stone, rollingstone.com, and he's got a new piece out in Rolling Stone. He of course, did the brilliant expose of Goldman Sachs a few months ago. And this is equally deserving of not just praise, but every person in America, particularly every elected official in America, should be reading this right now, and hopefully they are. It's titled Wall Street's Naked Swindle. The subtitle is Scheme to Flood the Market with Counterfeit Stock, Help Kill Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers, and the Feds have yet to bust the culprits. Matt, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me on.
Great. You are just absolutely one of the best writers out there today, the work that you are doing, and I'm really impressed. You start the article out and actually close the article up in a way with the same story. On Tuesday, March 11th, 2008, somebody, nobody knows who, made one of the craziest bets Wall Street has ever seen. Tell us about it.
Yeah, somebody bought $1.7 million worth of options on March 11th, 2008, and that was a day when Bear Stearns was trading at 62, and the options that they bought gave them the right to sell Bear Stearns stock at 30, but they were going to those options were expiring within 9 days. So
right,
what
so
that
these were
means,
basically bets. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
What that
so
means.
You're basically betting that Bear Stearns, one of the oldest and biggest companies on Wall Street, is going to lose half its value within 2 weeks. And that's the kind of thing that nobody does unless you know something. And it just they happened to got paid off. They made this crazy bet, which people that I talk to compared to buying a lottery ticket. And
somebody made $270 million on that bet, and then you point out that the day before this bet was made, or was it the day of this bet?
It was the day of.
The day of this bet, there was a super secret meeting at the Fed that we wouldn't even have found out about if it hadn't been for a plucky person filing a FOIA request.
Right.
There was this super secret meeting at the Fed that included all the major Wall Street players and Bernanke, except Bear Stearns.
Right. Everybody was there from pretty much all the major investment banks on Wall Street and some of the biggest hedge funds on Wall Street. Bob Rubin was there representing Citigroup. There were folks from Morgan Stanley, from J.P. Morgan Chase, which of course would end up owning Bear Stearns within a week, right, with $30 billion or $29 billion of help from the Fed. And all these people were there, and they're having this meeting, and as soon as that meeting breaks up, basically there's suddenly a run on Bear Stearns.
Right.
People start pulling credit from the company, and the stock starts plunging, and within a week, Bear Stearns is being sold off to J.P. Morgan Chase at $2 a share. So it's something.
While it was trading at $30 a share.
It was trading, on that Friday when it went into the weekend. I mean, it was in trouble. There's no question about it. But it went into the weekend trading at 30, and Hank Paulson stepped in, and when they did the deal over the weekend, he made the price $2.
Right, and Hank Paulson, of course, the former chairman of Goldman. And throughout this article, the framing device for this article is this incredible bet, that somebody made on March 11th that paid off. And the question is, who's behind this? There's one line in this article that, and I'm doing this from memory, but it was something to the effect of basically our economy is now in the control of 300 white guys in Wall Street.
Right.
And none of them are elected, by the way.
Right.
And so we've got a gangster economy. When Bush came into office, there was about $20 trillion worth of derivatives running around the world, bets on bets on bets. And when this thing melted down, there are some estimates that it was over $900 trillion. This, in a world where the entire GDP of the planet is only $65 trillion, the entire GDP of the U.S. is only roughly $15 trillion, over $900 trillion worth of bets on bets on bets on bets. I mean, it just had run nuts. We've got a system where the banks that used to make money by loaning money to Main Street to run a business now are making money buying and selling not even tulip bulbs.
Right. Yeah, no, it's basically turned into a casino, and I think that's the That's really the salient point of these episodes with Bear and Lehman Brothers, is that it's a pretty obvious case of insider trading in both cases. The options that we mentioned at the top of this discussion. That's one part of it. The other part of it is this whole business of naked short selling, which is very, very complicated and hard to get into. But it's pretty clear that there's a small group of people on Wall Street who are privy to lots of information, and there's everybody else who's not privy to any of it, and you've basically created a two-tiered class structure on Wall Street, and that's kind of not the way the free market is supposed to work. You're not supposed to have a situation where 4 or 5 banks get to have meetings in secret and say, well, if we do this, are we going to get $30 billion in aid from the government, or if we do that? It's not the way it's supposed to work. But yet the banks are still to this day fighting to have a market that looks like that. I mean, Goldman Sachs came out yesterday and actually said openly that that transparency is not always good for the market, and that we support dark pools of trading and that sort of thing. And so, this is what people need to be aware of, that there's really this two-tiered structure.
Right. And the guys at Goldman are getting ready to carve up $32 billion amongst themselves, while as you point out in the article, this is a massive transfer of wealth away from the middle class. You talk about they're picking the last of the bones of the wealth of the middle class in America and putting it in their pockets. I mean, this is the crime of the century. And the Obama administration is going, it's fine. We're full of Goldman Sachs people in the Treasury Department and whatnot. So people need to read your article, Matt Taibbi. Wall Street's Naked Swindle, the scheme to flood the market with counterfeit stocks, help kill Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers, and the feds have yet to bust the culprits. A brilliant piece of journalism. Matt Taibbi over at RollingStone.com. Matt, thanks for being with us.
Thanks for having me on, Tom.
And thanks for the incredible work that you're doing. It's the story that needs to be told.